Today we are talking about your opening routine or opening sequence. After your canopy has deployed and inflated, what do you do next? So in AFF, you learn that you need to check your canopy. Is it there? Is it square? And is it steerable? So obviously, you need to keep doing that. Don't neglect that part of your opening routine. But then after that, there's other things that you're probably already starting to do. And as you progress in skydiving, as you advance and downsize to different canopies and get a little bit more advanced in your canopy piloting, there's going to be other things that you're going to want to include in your opening routine. The things that you do after your canopy is inflated and you've checked to make sure that everything's okay. So for example, let me go through my opening routine. My canopy inflates, I look up and I check it, it's there, it's square, it's steerable. So I actually don't release my toggles just yet. Even though, that's part of our check is the steerable, I don't do that just yet. The first thing I do is I move my leg straps down towards my knees so I can kind of actually sit in my harness. And the reason I do that is because for the next few seconds, I'm going to have my hands busy doing other things, and I'm looking around at other canopy traffic, other skydivers in the air, and I want to be able to steer my canopy if I need to, and I can do that with my legs. And once I've moved my leg straps down to closer to my knees, now I can give harness inputs to control my canopy. Obviously, I can't control it as much as with the toggles or the risers, but I can still control it and keep it in a slow turn or go away from someone that I see under canopy over there or whatever. So that's the first thing I do is I move my leg straps down. The next thing I do is I reach up, just feeling with my hands. I'm not looking up, I'm looking ahead, I'm scanning for traffic, and I collapse my slider. Then what I do after that is I like to move my slider all the way down, get it past my riser loops, get it past my toggles, and put it behind my head. Once I've done that, then I like to loosen my chest strap. Now, I used to loosen my chest strap first, but what I realized is if I loosen my chest strap, that allows my risers to spread out a little bit. And once I do that, it makes it harder for me to get that slider down. So I like to put the slider down first, loosen the chest strap, and then I can reach up and grab my toggles. Now I've got a hold of my toggles and I never have to let go of them again. Now, some people, I was talking with some newer jumpers the other day, they were asking about chest strap. Should they loosen the chest strap? Should they leave it tight? Why would you loosen it? All that. So just real quick, I wanted to talk about that. The reason that you would want to get in the habit of loosening your chest strap is that when you loosen it, like I said, it's going to let your risers spread out. As they spread out, that's going to allow your canopy to fully inflate. What you may not realize that if your chest strap is really, really tight and is squeezing those risers, that's squeezing your canopy in, so it's actually not able to completely extend all the way. It's not able to completely inflate. Now, on a bigger canopy, a student canopy, you're probably not going to notice any difference at all whether you keep your chest strap tight or loosen it. The bigger the canopy, the less difference it's going to make. And a student canopy, you probably won't tell a difference at all. Now, I would recommend that you go ahead and start getting in the habit of doing that. You start incorporating that loosening the chest strap into part of your opening routine, your opening sequence, just so you get in the habit of it, you get comfortable doing that. But it's not something you have to do. Now, as you progress, as you downsize and get on smaller and smaller canopies, it really is going to be something that's very, very helpful because, like I said, it's going to allow the canopy to fully inflate. It's going to make it fly better. You're going to have a better glide ratio so you can get back from a long spot. But that also means that you're going to penetrate the wind better. You're going to have better control, better maneuverability, better flight characteristics overall because the canopy is actually the shape that it was meant to be versus if the chest strap and risers are tight and pinched in, it's really not the shape that the manufacturer intended for it to be. So that's about the chest strap. Loosen it or not loosen it. I think go ahead and start getting in the habit of doing that. The reason it's important to have an opening routine, a sequence that you follow and that you do the same every single time, is to kind of develop that muscle memory. So that when you're doing that, the more that you do it and the more you do it in the same order every single time, you're going to get faster and faster and more efficient at it. and it's going to take less and less brain power, less and less focus and concentration, so that you can keep your eyes and your attention on other things, namely focusing on other traffic canopies in the air around you, so that you can be avoiding them, going where you need to go, turning your canopy, steering back towards the drop zone, the landing area, staying off of jump run, all those things. But if you're not doing the same thing every time, or you're doing it differently, or sometimes you do this, sometimes you do that, well then there's no routine, there's no sequence, and so you're spending mental energy to focus on tasks that you need to do that's taking your attention away from what's more important, which is looking for traffic. So I highly recommend that you figure out an order in which you like to do things and have a reason for it. Why do you do things in a certain way? Like I said, I like to put my leg straps down first, because then I can use those harness inputs to control my canopy a little bit while I'm doing these other things. Then I like to collapse my slider, put it behind my head. Then I release my chest strap, then I grab my toggles. That's my opening routine. It works really well for me. I like it. The more that I do it, the faster I get. I just recently incorporated the slider, bringing the slider down. I wasn't doing that for a long time. And I've been doing it more and more and more, and it's gotten quicker and quicker and quicker to now where I can go through that whole opening routine, that sequence, in a matter of 10 seconds, 15 seconds. So it's really quick. It doesn't take much time. I'm still controlling my canopy with my harness inputs. I'm looking around, scanning for traffic, and then it sets me up in a position to where my canopy is it's able to fly better. I'm able to control it. I'm able to sit in my harness and relax, so that it's just a much better canopy ride. And honestly, it's a safer canopy ride because I've got better control, better maneuverability, better glide ratio, all those things. So think about your opening routine. Think about the things that you want to incorporate, what you need to do, and start doing those things. Now, if you haven't been moving your leg straps down, maybe you haven't been loosening your chest strap, you haven't been collapsing your slider, there's all these things, I would recommend that you just add in one thing at a time. If you haven't been doing any of those things and you've been fine, well, that's okay, but you want to start incorporating them, okay, just incorporate one thing at a time. So you say, okay, for the next 20 jumps, I'm just going to move my leg straps down and get used to that. I'm going to make that a part of my opening routine until I get really comfortable doing that. I get a feel for what it's like. Then after 10 or 15 jumps where you feel comfortable, okay, now I'm going to move my leg straps down, then I'm going to collapse my slider. And you're doing this without looking. You're not having to spend a lot of time and energy and attention. You're not focusing on your leg straps looking down. You're not focusing on the slider. You're paying attention to the other traffic, canopy traffic in the sky. So then you add in the slider, right? And maybe pulling it down behind your head or whatever. You do that for 10 or 15, 20 jumps. Then you add in the chest strap. Or whatever it is. Maybe you've got a removable slider and you're taking that off, whatever. But don't all of a sudden add in 3 or 4 extra steps to your opening routine that you haven't been doing. That's just going to take too much attention, too much mental energy, too much time, and you're going to be losing altitude. You're not going to be paying attention. So just one thing at a time until you slowly add in all those things. But like I said, I think it's very important that you keep that order the same every time. Keep doing the same opening routine so you get more and more comfortable, you get quicker at it, it requires less mental energy so you can focus on what's more important. So that's a tip for today. Have an opening routine, have an opening sequence, make it simple, make it effective, have reasons for what you do and the order that you do them in, and then keep doing it the same way so you can get better and better and faster and faster. I hope that's helpful to you. I hope that's going to make you safer. I hope that's going to make you better. It's going to be a benefit to your skydiving, make you a better canopy pilot. If you want to learn more stuff like this, of course, the YouTube channel, the Krāv channel, we've got a bunch of great videos here, but also go to the Krāv website. It's kravtofly.com. We've got some courses up right now already. We're going to keep adding more and more courses covering different disciplines. And our intention, our hope is that all of these courses, all this content is going to help skydivers everywhere have access to some of the best coaching, some of the best instruction in the world. The instructors that we have are fantastic. They're at the top of their discipline, whether it's wingsuiting or camera flying, angle flying and movement jumps, big ways, vertical flying. We're trying to get with the best skydivers in each discipline and have them teach these courses so that it can really help people all over the world so that every skydiver in the world has access to this instruction and coaching. It's going to make you a better flyer and a safer skydiver. So I hope that helps you. I hope that's beneficial to you. And hopefully we'll see you out there in the sky. Krāv, do more, be better.